back with another episode of The Crossover with your hosts, Ravi and Brian. This week is a smorgasbord of topics, we're going to go across the league with. And, Ravi, anything you want to say before we get going, man?
Hey, man, it's been an exciting first round so far, man. We had some surprises in the East, some teams putting up a fight that we didn't expect to put up any much of a fight. And out west, things have been interesting. So it's been a good first round so far.
Yeah, I would say definitely interesting. A bit of everything that happened in the first round. All right, so let's get into our first topic, which, funny enough, as we talk about the playoffs, of course, we will obviously not speak about playoffs as the first topic. So our first topic is a new hire happened this afternoon, as we, and obviously fresh off the presses. Billy Donovan, former coach of the University of Florida Gators, U of F, is heading back to the big leagues. To play, coach, boy, he got a sweet deal. He ends up getting. I guess it depends how you look at it. He could be in the fire a little bit. He'll be the new coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'll just say this. I mean, I said it last week when Scott Brooks got fired. I'll say it now, a little too late. And I mean, this smells very, very desperate to me in this case. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure I'm getting all this, but I don't know. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think like from what the reports have said, Presti and Donovan, they've had a relationship over the years, and I think behind the scenes, a lot of people were thinking, even last year when they thought Brooks was gone, they thought Donovan was probably the guy to come in and replace him. And then, I mean, these are sources close to the situation behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I think the mainstream opinion would everyone was thinking Kevin Ollie up front. Mm-hmm. He had a previous relationship with with Durant, playing together in the Seattle days.
Right.
So everyone had that was I guess that was a mainstream sexy pick. But behind the scenes, I think it doesn't come as a surprise to anyone with Donovan. So we'll see how he translates to the NBA game. Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting, and the type of relationship he builds with Durant and Westbrook.
Right. I think, I think that's the last point is the most important point. Like, can he build a relationship with those guys with one season? And I don't know that's gonna happen. I mean, can you imagine Westbrook here looking at this dude like, really? A few years ago, I was playing against you in college. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Now you're gonna tell me what? Like, I just don't see it, man.
We'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting. Like, you have that factor. You definitely have that factor.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how these guys come together next season. I mean, and if you really think about it, when OKC made those trades, at the deadline there, around there, mm-hmm. Durant was out, right? So Durant really hasn't had a chance to play with the pieces that they've picked up.
Yeah, I hear you, and you're right, and that's true. But I just don't know if they're gonna have the patience for him to develop his system. That's my thing. Like, when he starts to rein back Westbrook, mm-hmm. How's that gonna play out?
Well, I mean, I think regardless of who it is, if they try to rein in Westbrook, it's gonna be an issue. Hey, man. We got to call it like it is. I don't think, depending on who the guy is coming and telling him, trying to rein in Westbrook.
Yeah, killing my boy Westbrook. You always can find a way to take a shot, huh? Well, I must admit, it makes things a little real interesting. I think it helps teams that are considering changing coaches. Actually, this helps them out because it opens up the board very quickly for them. I'm talking to you, Toronto, by the way. Hint, hint. If you're thinking of that, Chicago might be in the mood to be looking for a new coach. But now Donovan, who probably was on a lot of their lists, off the board, it keeps other possibilities open for a lot of other teams. So that's interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I like the fact that they did it relatively quickly. They didn't let it drag on into the summer. Yeah. So you have more of a time for the coach, the players to meet the off season, get a little further acclimated, and start working on what they want to do for next season.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to topic number 2. Award season is continuing. We've had, since we spoke last time, a whole list of them come through. We had just today Rookie of the Year, good Canadian boy, good Canuck. First, I got to think it's first time ever. I haven't checked the books, but I'm pretty safe to say that's history, that the Rookie of the Year is a Canadian. And, I don't think it's that surprising I have him picked as my pick. You know, there's some cute picks people wanted to go out there and bring up. What's the name for Philadelphia? Noel. I'm like, really? Like, come on, guys. Like, really? At first, like, Philadelphia shouldn't even count as far as I'm concerned. You know, Miritich, who's about 40 years old, they're trying to put it there for Rookie of the Year. It's like, hey, don't get me wrong, Miritich is a bad man, but like, the guy was consistent for pretty much from day one. After you get past the first 3 weeks, he got like the butterflies out of it. Was Wiggins, man? And you know, he's turning into the real deal. It looks like and then some. He says he wants to become an all-star next year to be in the T-Dot. So who knows? We'll see how it plays out, man. Well, your thoughts, man?
No, I mean, he was my pick as well too, and obviously, I saw a brief clip as I was leaving work. Shout out to Andrew Wiggins for wearing the full tuxedo at the press conference.
Yes, he went all out, guy. Did you go cover man too?
Hey man,
I saw that. I
was like, hey, you want to wear the full tuxedo? Bravo.
Oh, did you go cover man? Like, he had everything in it? And he had a bow tie, right?
He had the bow tie.
Oh,
I don't think he had the cummerband. But wow.
Impressive. So
let me tell you, that's how you accept a Rookie of the Year, people.
That's gonna be hard to live up to next year. Defensive Player of the Year, that was a surprise. I don't think either of us mentioned Kawhi when we were talking about it. I think Drake.
I think that was definitely. I didn't see that one coming at all.
I think I teased about the Stifle Tower teasing. I think I didn't know. I knew he was gonna win it, but I would love to see him win it. But I knew he wasn't gonna win it. I think the betting public thought Draymond was going to win it.
I really thought it. I
still think had Draymond, right?
I think this one is a blatant one where I would say I'll go out there and say it. I think Draymond was robbed, and I think given the year that he had this year and the system that they played in, I think everything worked out for him. It's hard pressed for me to say, I could to give that award to someone.
Yeah,
else.
It's tough when you get the most first place votes and you still don't win. That's imagine that happened with MVP voting, which could happen.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
Speaking of which, those are the only two we have outstanding. I mean, MVP still waiting to be announced, and most improved player.
Exactly. And then also we had Coach of the Year. I think I had Budenholzer in Atlanta. You took Kerr.
I took Kerr. I struck out.
Definitely. And the last one was who was the last one we had here?
Sixth man of
the year. I think we had Lou. Sweet Lou. I think both was his pick. I think he was the front runner.
I mean, I'm sure he's enjoying that trophy at home right now.
Hey, it's a PG show. Let's leave it at that, folks. So you go check him online, type in Lou Williams, you know what we're talking about. Oh boy. So for only two left, I just on a side note, something I noticed a bit. Someone did mention on one of the podcasts the other day I listened to, but I've noticed this as well. I'm a little surprised actually. I thought the Golden State would get all the media love because they're always slurping behind them every second. And Kerr, no trophy. Draymond, no trophy. Sixth man, you could probably have a chance, except for Draymond or Iguodala. Who else they had as another possibility that was in play? Defensive Player of the Year, it was so Iguodala for maybe 6 or Draymond for 6, he was starting in this case. So Iggy for 6, Draymond probably for Defensive Player of the Year. Struck out is what I'm saying. I don't know how this bodes for MVP, but
let's put it this way. If they strike out on the MVP ballot, let's hope Golden State uses that as fuel, just to shove it down the league's throat for not giving away any of these season awards.
Curry unhinged, good lord! Oh my gosh! I can see Kerr release the hounds. We'll see. Most improved, Clay was in the mix, so we'll see. So we'll see if the Splash Brothers can break through for Golden State. Anyways, let's move on now to playoff time. Eastern Conference, we'll get to that quickly. Love gets hurt. That's the big story really coming out. Them and the collapse of the Raptors, I think, are the two big stories out of the East. I'll just pour a little liquor out in this case here for the Raptors. And just say this about, man, some changes need to happen, guy. Tupac-style changes, guy. Things need to change. That's all I got to say. I heard that the other day, by the way. Still sounds good, man. So I still think it's the best song. His best song since he's dead, as far as I'm concerned. But that's a whole other discussion. As far as the hit songs go.
We'll save that for the summer show.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta be some changes. That and running. I don't know. Running is pretty nice too. But anyhow, we go into let's go to Love. I think in this case, I'm not saying Olynyk's a dirty player, but I think it was a dirty play. I think it was a little suspect. I'm sorry. I mean, guys wrestle for balls all the time. I don't see no man's arm looking like that when you're trying to get the ball. That's just my 2 cents on it. I don't know what you think. What's your take on it?
No, I totally agree. Once we saw that play, I think we were going back and forth on BBM.
Yep.
When that happened, and I don't think there's any question it was a foul play, flagrant play.
Yeah.
And Love said as much in the post game comments as well too.
Well, he was blazing, guy. He wasn't being PC at all with that guy. He was coming.
Well, I mean, if
the
you look
fire.
at it from his perspective, first round. I mean, first time in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's having a great series against Boston,
and he's an FA.
Basically, it's the first time all year. Yeah. He's really started to gel with the team, and things are clicking, coming together. And then this happens.
And
so you can definitely understand his frustration.
And the last part, he's an FA. Well, want to get paid, and you don't want to be going to an FA season when you're hurt. That is something that just you do not want that. So yeah. Let's face it, it still comes back to the De Niro guy when it's all said and done. And I just think if Cleveland sports fans must be going crazy because they already feel the hex hitting them already. It's like really.
Well, that coupled with JR being suspended for the first 2 games of the next series.
You knew that was coming.
You knew that was coming. So that's another boneheaded decision on that.
Can't blame this one, Rihanna.
She ain't going to Cleveland. I'll tell you that much. She'll go to a lot of cities, Miami, New York, but she ain't going to Cleveland.
Yeah, she might be.
I don't care.
She might be the T-Dot before then.
They can win 72 games. Then she's not going to Cleveland.
You're right. Riri does not do Cleveland. No.
Sorry, Cleveland.
Yeah, this ain't happening. Get that courtside look. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think everyone's looking forward to that second round matchup between them and the Bulls. The Bulls are up huge on Milwaukee tonight, so it looks like they're going to close it out right now.
Yeah.
And we will see. I mean, this is the matchup everyone wanted to see in the East: Chicago, Cleveland. Yeah. Obviously, you'd like to see Cleveland at full strength. I don't want any excuses. Should they lose?
Should they lose?
Should they lose?
They're going to lose.
Excuses. So
right now, I think Tibbs is already packing his bags right now, just in case. Already.
Who's that?
Tibbs.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think if Chicago does not get to at least the conference finals, he's gone.
I think he's gone even if they get there. I think it's just done. You have to win the championship. It's done. It's done. Right now, we're just watching Dead Man Walking right now, man. Dead Man Walking.
I think he's definitely, in terms of his approach with playing guys, really running up their minutes, not managing the minutes properly, and he's butted heads with guys in the front office with Simmons and Gar Hurd, some of those guys in Chicago.
Yeah, Noah still doesn't look right to me.
I mean, from what we've known Noah to be as that defensive player of the year from a few seasons back, and it's not like Noah's an old guy by any stretch. So, yeah, it's his managing of minutes is definitely a question mark there.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll move over to the West now. I said before, just offline, just before we started the show, man. It's all about one series, really. And I mean, the destiny of the league in some ways is really hinging on this series in a lot of ways. So, I mean, the Clippers will be broken up if this series and they get knocked out again in the first round. San Antonio's, maybe Tim Duncan gets knocked out first round. Say, you know what, it's been fun, folks. And even if they don't, you gotta think. I mean, Parker's barely hanging on right now. I mean, that dude's just like they're sticking him with duct tape and anything else they can find right now.
Well, I mean, Parker's barely hanging on. And rumors have it that this is Manu's last year.
Yeah, he's always looked like he's hanging on. So
I'm pretty sure this might be his last year. So internally, within the Spurs team, they might be making one last push for Tim and Manu possibly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, Tim Duncan is to quote R. Kelly, he turned back the hands. He turned back the hands of time, boy. He turned it back all the way.
The big pointy guy?
I mean, they had a stat after game 5, and they said that his points per game in this series is better than what it was back in '99 in the playoffs.
That's crazy.
When they won their first trip.
That's crazy.
So it's just a model of consistency from Tim Duncan. I saw Tim Duncan block 2 of Blake Griffin's attempts the other night. And Tim Duncan's not a guy who's known to get up.
Right. Man.
Right? So
I saw him putting us on work on DeAndre the other day in the post. I'm like, guy, man, no matter who it is, guy, they all get the same treatment, guy.
They all get the same treatment. But the thing is with those guys on the offensive end, to me, when it comes to like DeAndre Jordan, to a certain extent, he's not making Duncan work on the defensive end as much as I think he should. I think he could.
But they're putting the splitter on him for the most part. Instead, Duncan, they're trying to escape that setup. But I think it's all coming down to the Clippers, man. It's just like, firstly, this DeAndre Jordan foul situation is getting out of hand in this case. It's really screwing them up. Every time they get in a flow, Popovich just starts going hack a Jordan, and it just kills the offensive flow for the Clippers. And the second part is, I still think
you can see them getting frustrated when it happens. I mean, and I think the guys on the Clipper team, these guys get along. They all seem like they get along with each other. But you can see when he starts missing those free throws.
Well, the crowd
it just sucks. It just sucks. Whatever.
With the home games, I think it's worse for him in the home games. I think he's actually better if it's on the road. On the home games, oh my gosh, guys, the crowd's already groaning as he steps to the line. And it just takes the air around of the stadium. And the other thing, too, is I still think there's an identity crisis coming down the stretch of games. Griffin, Paul, who gets the ball. Now, Griffin got it last night. Everyone's second guessing. He should take the floater, this and that. Obviously the tip, it didn't matter anyways. He thought it was going in. I don't think it was going to go in. I think, obviously, Jordan mistimed the jump or the tip in. But, in my mind, I still feel I prefer to go in the Blake myself more so than Paul. That's just me. I'll take the 6'10" dude with leaping ability, the draw contact or something like that before I take the 6-foot point guard trying to create a shot.
Well, the thing is with that too. I mean, I hear you, but then Blake's had some key turnovers down the stretch of some of these games, right? So it's that lack of execution down the stretch.
True.
It's cost. I mean, they haven't really been. I mean, I wouldn't say they've been blown like in every single game, but you look at some of these games where it could have gone either way coming down the stretch. And it's that lack of execution, and some of those were on. I mean, Blake had that ball.
True, but Blake didn't make the big boneheaded one last season.
Well, no, not last season.
No, that's what I'm saying. So their best opportunity so far when it came on the stretch, the ball was in whose hands, and what ended up happening? The game was sitting right there. I never seen a game choke so bad in my life. I've seen some bad chokes or some bad mistakes, but that was one of the most egregious I've ever seen. And fine, you want to say, okay, put it in Chris Paul's hands? I'm not sure if I have that much more trust down the stretch of games with Chris Paul in these intense situations than I would with Blake, to be quite honest with you. I'd rather take my chance with Blake growing into that role. We know what Chris Paul is at 10 years in the league. We know how that story's going to play out. So, and if you want to take a shot with it, so be it. But I don't know. I think this team's going to have some serious changes. I think, in my mind, you got to let Jordan go. He's too much of a liability. I mean, as much as he might be a defender that help your rotation, you get a guy that's cheaper in this case, and you can find a guy that hit free throws.
Yeah.
And doesn't occupy as much money in your cap to do so, because he's just killing you right now, and you can't.
Yeah, you can't afford to pay a guy that what he's looking to get paid,
right,
and not be able to go to him late in games,
right?
Especially in the postseason.
Well, the offseason with him will be interesting to see how that plays out. But we'll wrap it up here right now because we're getting close to our closing time here. So, Ravi, where can the good folks find you, man?
At Mr. Ravi_Porvita.
And you can find me at Beyond Locker Room, short for RM, man. I'm about to bring my tie next week, man. You're looking sharp, man.
Hey, man, we're coming straight from the office right to the podcast. So we're giving it to them straight.
Exactly, man. Always a professional. So we'll leave it at that, folks. We'll talk to you guys next week, man. Later.